I'm standing around the very back side of the apartment complex on the southeast side, and the only part of her car I can see is the roof and the dome light that's on in it.
911, where's your emergency?
I have an emergency, a severe emergency. I'm in a flooding. My car veered off the road while I was doing my newspapers, and I'm flooded over here on the end of Kincaid, and it's all the way up to my windows, and I can't get out, and I'm scared to death, ma'am. Please help me. I don't want to die.
You're not going to die. Hold on for a minute.
How long is it going to take?
I don't have an officer available, so it's going to take a minute, so I'm going to try to get somebody out there to you. Just hold on, okay?
How long is it
Miss
going to
Debbie,
be, please,
listen
ma'am?
to me. Listen to me. I need you to calm down and hold on,
I'm
okay?
just scared, ma'am.
I understand that you're scared, but there's nothing I can do sitting in a chair, so you're going to have to hold on, and I'm going to send you somebody, okay?
I'm sorry if I'm rude, but I'm scared.
You're not being rude. I know you're scared. Just calm down for me.
I'm scared. I've never had anything like this happen to me before.
Well, this will teach you next time. Don't drive in the water.
I'm sorry. Can you pray? Will you pray with me?
In her vehicle.
Hello?
I'm here. I can still hear everything you're saying to me.
Will you pray with me, please?
You go ahead and start off the prayer, and I'll listen to you. I sure will.
Dear Lord, please just help me. Get me out of this water safely, dear Father.
The dispatcher can be heard telling Debbie that she delivers papers and should know the area. Debbie's telling her that she can see people at nearby apartments.
I don't see how you didn't see it. You had to go right over it, so.
Hey, it's iCkEdMeL. I took a little break, but I wanted to share this story with you. Actually, days ago, Debra Stevens, 47, in Arkansas, drowned in her car because her car was swept away in a flood. And I want to give some safety tips too. I'm going to put the full video for the safety tip down below in the description.
She's way back there.
Yeah.
Is there any way I can get this off and help you?
I got another guy coming with a life jacket.
I'm going to start getting this off so I can help.
August 24, 4:38 a.m. Debra gets swept by like a flash flood. She drove into it. She drove into the water.
I can't get out there to her, and you're going to have to wait out here to me to get to me. So take Grand, come in on 58th. You'll see my unit.
You know, and they say you should never drive into it, you should turn around. But she was saying that she didn't see it. She also wasn't too sure of her location.
Are you on the park side? Are you in the parking lot side? Are you on the road?
And you go down you go down that street that runs in between those two apartments right there, and I'm on, and I guess it's a circle down there. I don't know. I've never driven down on this part. I don't know, man. The back side of these apartments over here, where these people are at, they can all see me. They're all standing out there watching me.
Miss Debbie, you're going to have to shut up, okay? I need you to listen to me.
And then you have the 911 dispatcher, which, by the way, it was her last day on the job. Donna Reneau, she was very insensitive.
She's right down the embankment. The cars come all the way down the road on 58 or Kincaid and come up against the embankment out there. But there's trees separating her from the highway.
You know, and at one part, as you heard in the beginning, Debra asked her, hey, please, will you pray with me? Will you pray with me? And she goes, yeah, you go ahead and start the prayer. I'll listen to you. I sure will.
Will you pray with me, please?
You go ahead and start off the prayer, and I'll listen to you. I sure will.
I think it was like 5-something in the morning. She was already disconnected from the phone and deceased, apparently. But they were searching for her.
At 5 a.m., the 911 call is disconnected, and rescuers are now in the water.
Car's right out there. All you can see left is the dadgum light on it.
The prayer thing is like kind of debatable because in the recording, in the audio, she's taking other calls too, which is kind of like, in a way, it's kind of disrespectful. It's kind of harsh. Maybe in her environment, she doesn't have a choice. But to think that there's a dying person and you're like, oh, hold on, let me take this call.
I've done papers for 21 years, and I've never had it like this.
Yeah, I think that's understandable, though. Hold on for me, okay? Fortunately, this is Donna. How can I help you?
Maybe this is just a day in the life of a 911 dispatcher. If you know about this, comment down below. Because I've heard of nurses, I've heard of stories of them telling me when a person's coding on the deathbed that there's been other nurses joking and laughing while the person is dying.
Car's right out there. All you can see left is the dadgum light on it. Yeah. And inside interior light. They think it's probably gone.
I have a couple of more clips to play for you. This next clip is where Debra's talking about her cell phone and it getting wet, and it's a brand new phone, and the dispatcher, she's obviously frustrated about this, which is understandable. I think the biggest mistake that Debra made was just sitting there and waiting for somebody to come and help her. There comes a point, especially when a car is being flooded, that you need to take action immediately.
I understand that, but you freaking out doing nothing but losing your oxygen up in there, so just calm down.
But are they not going to come and get me?
You said what? I'm sorry?
When are they going to be here?
As soon as they get there.
Man, my phone's going to die, and they're not going to find me, and it's going to ruin my brand new phone.
Do you really care about your brand new phone? I mean, you're over there crying for your life. Who cares about your phone?
I need to get down. I need to throw up. I need to throw up right now.
Well, then you're in water. You can throw up. It's not going to matter. If you got throw up on yourself, they'll still help you.
There was at one point where, well, she asked multiple times, when are they going to get here? And she says, I can't give you a time. And then there's one part in the audio which I enhanced and I've raised it where you hear somebody in the background of the 911 dispatcher laughing. So it just makes me kind of wonder, like, did this person have Debra on speaker and the whole office is like laughing at what's going on there?
You know how much longer it's going to be, ma'am?
As soon as they get there, I cannot give you a time.
Oh, my God. What time is it now, ma'am? Oh, those people are standing up in their balcony watching me sitting in this water. That's pretty rude.
A lot of people have called in on you, so I don't think that nobody's just sitting there. They actually called in, but they're not going to get themselves in danger because you put yourself in danger.
Let's talk a little bit about the safety tips. This video clips, the two of them are from Brightside YouTube. And the first things that you're supposed to do if you fall into water or if you get into a flash flood or whatever is you unfasten your seatbelt first. You don't want to be stuck in your seatbelt. And then you wind the window down and you go out throughout the window.
Memorize the sequence. Unfasten the seatbelt, lower the window, climb out of the car.
If you have kids, you unfasten your seatbelt, you bring down that window, and you bring the kids out first, oldest to youngest, because the older children can help out the younger children if you have kids, God forbid.
First, unbuckle your seatbelt and lower your window. Only after your window is open should you help your children. In the case of just one child, unfasten their seatbelt and push them out ahead of you. If there are several children, help them from oldest to youngest.
I believe at a certain point, Debra had power in the car. She said you could see the lights on the inside. At one point, the car starts to like smoke up and stuff. And Debra was saying her car was going to burn, and the dispatcher and her got into it. I believe at one point she could have lowered those windows, but I believe she was also afraid. She's a short person, and she didn't know how to swim.
My lights are on inside if you can see my lights. My interior lights are on. No, my car is just going to catch on fire.
How if it's underwater?
It's turned on. I can't turn it off.
Your car's not going to catch fire in water.
So there's this interesting thing that they've supposedly done test results on electronic cars that if you have the power windows where the buttons you have to push, supposedly your car can have power up to 10 minutes long when it's in submerged water. So the first thing you want to do, like we've said, is take off your seatbelt, roll the windows down. It's probably super scary, I can imagine. And if you can't do that, once you're submerged underwater, what you want to do is hold on to the door handle. And once your seatbelt's off and all that stuff and the pressure inside the car has stabilized with the outside, you want to kick the door open, like with your feet as hard as you can, kick it open. Don't bother trying to break the windshield. And I really recommend that you should get something in your car that can break the side windows. I need to get one. I've been saying that for so long because you never know, something happens, somebody hits you, and all of a sudden you're flying off of something and into water, into a river, into a pond, or whatever.
A crank window will give you the best means of escape. But here's a promising fact. According to test results, a car's electronics continue to function for at least 10 minutes after it becomes submerged.
You guys comment them below and you let me know your thoughts. A lot of people are upset. Supposedly that station has been getting death threats. You know, the unfortunate thing is how Debra was berated by the 911 dispatcher. You know, you think you call for an emergency, your life's in danger, and these people on the other end are going to help you out or whatever. And I think that the lady on the other end kind of pacified her a little bit too, because Debra was apologizing and all this kind of stuff, and the lady wasn't taking her seriously enough. You know, so all I can say is that if things hit the fan, you know, don't rely on these people. Don't rely on these government people. Don't rely on these doctors in their little lab suits. Don't rely on these experts that are going to write you your prescription for your medication, because all of these people will kill you. Believe in your instinct. You know, try to, I don't know what to say. It's hard. It's easy for someone on the outside to say what you would do in that situation. I couldn't imagine being in a car, that happening, freaking out. I think the one thing that really got her was not taking action, and I'm sure she was afraid because she couldn't swim, but she probably would have had a better chance of climbing out the window, standing on top of the car, grabbing onto whatever tree was there maybe, and trying something. Horrible death. I just can't imagine. That's actually one of my the deaths that I fear is drowning. I fear drowning. I've had dreams about it. It just freaks me out. So condolences to the family, and I just can't imagine, like, the 911 call. It's all over the place on the internet, right? And I don't know. So take care of yourselves. Peace.